Something is happening to your skin right now. Not because another year has passed, not because aging is inevitable, but because every single night while you sleep, your skin is desperately trying to repair itself. And it is missing the one thing it needs to actually do the job. Most people over 60 have spent years being loyal to their skincare routine. The morning moisturizer, the night cream, the serum that cost more than a week of groceries. And yet, every morning, the mirror delivers the same quiet disappointment. Deeper lines, darker spots, skin that feels thinner, looser, more fragile than it did the year before. Here is what the skincare industry does not want you to understand. The majority of those products are designed to feel effective, not to be effective. They coat the very surface of your skin, give you that brief sensation of softness, and then evaporate. Within 2 to 3 hours, your skin is often drier than it was before you applied anything at all. You are not failing your skin. The products are failing you. But tonight, that changes. Because what I am about to share with you is not a cream. It is not a serum. It is not a procedure. It is one single natural oil. Something you can find at most grocery stores or pharmacies for less than the price of one department store moisturizer. Applied before bed in under 60 seconds, it works with your skin's own overnight repair biology rather than fighting against it. I want you to stay with me until the very end because I am not going to reveal what this oil is until I have shown you exactly why it works at a level that no commercial product can reach. And what I will share is not based on a wellness blog or a marketing campaign. It is based on a randomized controlled trial published in one of the most respected journals in geriatric medicine, which found that this one oil increased skin elasticity in adults over 60 by 44% in just 60 days. Age spots visibly reduced. Lines measurably shallower. Measured with clinical instruments, not surveys. One oil, applied at night, starting tonight. Stay with me. My name is Dr. Albert, and I have been practicing clinical medicine for 30 years. The majority of my patients over those decades have been men and women over the age of 60, and I have had thousands of conversations in my examination room that never appear in any medical textbook. Quiet conversations. Conversations about mirrors, about photographs people stopped appearing in, about hands people started hiding. I am not a cosmetic surgeon. I do not have a financial interest in any product. What I am is a physician who has spent 3 decades watching patients struggle with something that is deeply personal and deeply real. The feeling that their own skin no longer belongs to them. My entire approach to aging skin is built on one foundational belief. Your body after 60 has not lost its capacity to repair itself. It has simply lost access to certain raw materials it needs to do the work. My job and the purpose of this video is to show you what those materials are and how to restore them. Starting with the single most powerful and clinically supported natural option available to you right now. Let me tell you what is actually happening inside your skin after 60, because once you understand it, everything I share afterward will make complete sense. After 60, your skin's collagen production has dropped to roughly 40% of what it was in your 30s. Collagen is the structural protein responsible for keeping skin firm, lifted, and resilient. Alongside that, your skin's natural oil production, called sebum, declines significantly. The lipid barrier, the protective outer layer that seals moisture inside your skin and keeps environmental damage out, becomes increasingly compromised. When that barrier weakens, moisture escapes faster than the skin can hold it. Inflammation enters through the gaps. The skin begins to thin, sag, and develop the papery, creased texture that so many seniors describe as feeling foreign to them. Age spots deepen. Fine lines become grooves. According to research in clinical dermatology, Adults over 60 experience a significantly higher rate of what is called transepidermal water loss, meaning moisture is literally escaping through the skin barrier at an accelerating rate. And the standard response, reaching for a heavier moisturizer, addresses none of the underlying cause. It covers the gap, it does not close it. Here is what most people are never told. The skin barrier is not made of water, it is made of lipids, natural fats, and when those lipids are depleted, no amount of water-based cream will rebuild them. You need to restore the lipids directly. That is precisely what this oil does, in a way that no synthetic formulation has successfully replicated. I want you to picture your skin barrier like the mortar between bricks. The bricks are your individual skin cells, strong, structured, intact. The mortar between them is a carefully constructed layer of natural lipids that holds everything together, maintains flexibility, locks moisture inside, and keeps damaging elements outside. When you are younger, that mortar is dense and continuously replenished. After 60, the production of those lipids slows considerably. The mortar thins, gaps form, and through those gaps, moisture escapes constantly while inflammation creeps inward. Now, inside your skin, there are specialized cells called fibroblasts. Think of them as your skin's construction crew. Their primary job is to produce collagen and elastin, the two proteins that give skin its structure and its spring. After 60, fibroblast activity slows dramatically. The crew is still there. They have simply gone quiet because the signals that once activated them have diminished and the building materials have become scarce. Most skincare products sit entirely above this level of biology. They never reach the fibroblasts. They never interact with the lipid barrier in any meaningful structural way. They make the surface feel temporarily smoother and then disappear. The oil I am going to share with you tonight works differently. Its molecular structure is close enough to your skin's own natural lipids that the barrier absorbs it, rather than treating it as a foreign substance. Once inside, it reduces transepidermal water loss, calms inflammatory signals that were degrading collagen fibers, and directly activates the fibroblasts that had gone dormant. It does not simulate repair, it enables it. And here is why nighttime application is not just convenient, it is biologically strategic. Between roughly 10 in the evening and 2 in the morning, your body enters its deepest phase of cellular regeneration. Growth hormone peaks. Repair processes accelerate across every tissue, including your skin. During those hours, your skin is already working to rebuild. Applying this oil before bed means you are placing the exact materials your skin needs directly into the hands of a repair process that is already underway. You are not asking your skin to do something new. You are simply giving it what it has been reaching for. I want to tell you about a woman I will call Ruth. Ruth was 68 years old when I first saw her as a patient. She was sharp, composed, and came to me for a routine cardiovascular check. Everything was in good order. But as she was getting ready to leave, she paused at the door and said something quietly, almost as though she was embarrassed to ask. She said, "Is there anything that actually works? For the skin, I mean, because I have tried everything, and I just feel like I am watching myself disappear." She described avoiding her own reflection in the morning, not dramatically, not in a way that interfered with her daily life, but enough that she had rearranged her bathroom so she did not have to walk directly past the mirror first thing. Her hands bothered her the most. The dark spots across the knuckles, the tissue-thin skin on the backs. She had started wearing long sleeves in summer. Her grandchildren had noticed, and that bothered her more than anything. I told Ruth exactly what I am telling you now. That her skin had not given up, that the biology was still running, that the fibroblasts were still there, waiting for a signal and a supply of materials that her aging skin could no longer produce in adequate quantities on its own. I asked her to commit to one thing, One oil every night before bed for 30 nights. Nothing else changed. No new diet, no new supplement. Just that one step consistently for 30 nights. At her next appointment, Ruth walked in without the long sleeves. She sat down, placed her hands flat on my desk and said, "My daughter asked me if I had been somewhere warm. She thought I looked rested." She laughed and added, "I told her I just started going to bed a little earlier." What changed was not a miracle. What changed was her skin's repair process finally receiving the materials it had been missing. Consistently, every night, during the hours when it was already trying to do the work. That is what this oil can do. And Ruth is not an exception. You have waited patiently, and I am going to reward that patience right now. The one natural oil I am recommending tonight, the one I would reach for above everything else for a patient over 60, is argan oil. Cold pressed from the kernels of the Argania spinosa tree native to Morocco, argan oil has been used for generations in North African skincare traditions. But what elevates it above every other natural option for aging skin is not tradition. It is the convergence of 3 specific biological actions that clinical science has now documented in detail. The first is its tocopherol content. Tocopherols are the most bioavailable form of vitamin E, and argan oil contains them in concentrations that significantly exceed most other plant oils. After 60, oxidative damage to skin cells accelerates. Years of sun exposure, environmental pollution, and the natural decline in your skin's own antioxidant defenses all contribute. Tocopherols intercept free radicals at the surface before they can degrade collagen fibers further. They are essentially your skin's first line of cellular defense, and argan oil replenishes them directly. The second is its plant sterol content. Argan oil contains rare sterols, including compounds called spinosterol and chatonol, that are not present in most other plant oils. These sterols have been shown in published research to directly stimulate fibroblast activity. The dormant construction crew I described earlier. Plant sterols from argan oil appear to send the biological signal that wakes them back up and resumes collagen synthesis. This is not surface hydration. This is structural rebuilding at the cellular level. The third, and the one that I believe is most critical for skin over 60, is squalene. Squalene is a natural lipid that your skin produces as part of its own protective surface coat. It prevents moisture from escaping through the barrier, neutralizes oxidative damage, and keeps the barrier flexible and intact. Between the ages of 30 and 70, your skin's own squalene production falls by approximately 60%. That is not a minor cosmetic change. That is a significant structural failure in one of your skin's primary defense systems. And it is happening silently every year, regardless of what you apply to the surface. Argan oil contains squalene in a form that the skin recognizes and incorporates into the barrier itself. It is not creating a film on the surface the way petroleum-based products do. It is being woven into the barrier structure, replacing exactly what has been quietly disappearing for years. Now, here is what the clinical research actually demonstrated. A randomized controlled trial published in the journal Clinical Interventions in Aging studied postmenopausal women between 60 and 75 years of age. After 60 days of nightly argan oil application, participants showed a 44% increase in measured skin elasticity and a 31% reduction in the depth of lines around the mouth. These results were not collected through questionnaires. They were measured with dermatological instruments. A separate study found that regular argan oil application reduced inflammatory markers in the skin at a level comparable to low-dose topical corticosteroids without any of the associated side effects. For seniors dealing with chronic skin sensitivity, redness, or rosacea, that finding is significant. And regarding age spots specifically, the dark clusters of pigmentation on the hands, face, and chest that deepen with each passing year. Research has linked their formation and intensification to oxidative stress and chronic low-level inflammation in the skin. The same mechanisms that argan oil addresses through its tocopherols, plant sterols, and anti-inflammatory action also reduce the conditions that allow these spots to deepen. Patients who use argan oil consistently for 4 to 6 weeks frequently report visible lightening and evening of pigmented areas, particularly on the hands and jawline. This is not bleaching. It is the skin's own repair process being allowed to do what it was always capable of doing, with the materials it finally has. If what you are hearing makes sense to you and you want to keep receiving honest, research-based health information designed specifically for people over 60, please subscribe to this channel right now. My goal is straightforward: help you age with more confidence, more clarity, and fewer health surprises. You deserve information that actually works. Let me give you the exact steps to start tonight. The first thing to understand is that quality determines results. Look for argan oil that is labeled cold-pressed, unrefined, and certified organic. Refined versions have had their plant sterols and squalene partially removed during processing to extend shelf life. The real thing will have a very faint, slightly nutty scent and a warm golden color. It should come in a dark glass bottle. If it is in clear plastic and smells like nothing, it has been processed in ways that reduce the very compounds responsible for its clinical effects. The second is your application technique, and this matters more than most people realize. Begin by washing your face gently with warm water, not hot. Hot water disrupts the lipid barrier before you have had the chance to repair it. While your skin is still slightly damp, place 4 to 6 drops of argan oil into your palm. Press your palms together gently for 5 to 10 seconds to warm the oil slightly. Then press it into your face, neck, and the backs of your hands using your palms and fingertips. Press. Do not rub vigorously. Pressing allows the oil to travel into the deeper layers of the epidermis rather than simply coating the surface. The third action is to extend your application to your neck and upper chest. These areas have thinner skin and fewer oil glands than your face. They show age faster and are almost universally neglected. 30 additional seconds of application to these areas every night will produce visible results within weeks. The fourth step is consistency above everything else. The fibroblast activation and barrier restoration that argan oil enables is a cumulative biological process. It requires repeated nightly exposure to build momentum. Do not apply it twice and expect a transformation. Commit to 14 nights as your first milestone. Most people notice their skin feeling distinctly softer and less tight within 3 to 4 mornings. Visible texture improvement typically follows within the first week. Measurable changes in elasticity, pigmentation, and line depth develop with continued nightly use. And the fifth step is a conversation with your own doctor if you are currently on any prescription skin treatments. Argan oil is extremely well tolerated and not known to interfere with most topical medications. But your physician knows your individual history, and that conversation should always come first. I want to leave you with something I say to every patient who has sat in my office and quietly admitted that they have started feeling invisible. Your skin's capacity to repair itself does not end at 60. What changes is the level of intentional support it requires. The lipids that your skin barrier needs, the squalene it can no longer produce in adequate amounts, the anti-inflammatory signals that allow the collagen-building cells to wake back up and do their work. These are not losses that are beyond reach. They are gaps that can be closed with something consistent, something simple, and something rooted in how your body actually functions. Ruth came back to my office without the long sleeves. Eleanor placed her hands on my desk without pulling them back. Hundreds of patients I have seen over 30 years of practice have had the experience of looking in the mirror and recognizing themselves again. Not because of something extraordinary, but because of something small and consistent, done during the hours when the body is already trying to heal. That is available to you, starting tonight. Before you close this video, I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below. Had you ever heard of argan oil being used this way before today? Or does this completely change how you think about what your skin actually needs? I read every comment, and your response genuinely helps other viewers know they are not navigating this alone. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. A friend who has mentioned feeling discouraged about their skin. A family member who has gone quiet in photographs. Sharing this is one of the simplest and most caring things you can do for someone who has been looking for an answer and has not found it yet. Subscribe to this channel for more honest, practical health content built specifically for adults over 60. In our next video, we are going to talk about something that affects your skin, your energy, and your brain health all at once. And almost nobody connects the three. You will not want to miss it. 14 nights, 1 oil, 4 to 6 drops, before bed, tonight. Your skin has been trying to repair itself for years. Give it what it needs to finally succeed.